Hello everyone and welcome! This is Africa, and here's Nigeria. Now let's go, shall we? A patchwork of plateaus, savannas, forests, and mangrove swamps, the richly varied land of Nigeria has been, according to archaeologists, inhabited since Mesolithic times. The country's first great civilization was that of the Nok Culture, situated in the nation's center. Metalsmiths of iron, farmers of grain, and, most famously, crafters of strikingly stylized terracotta sculptures. The purpose of these figures is a mystery, as is the strange disappearance of the Nok, who slipped from the historical record after about the year 200. As the centuries cascaded by, Nigeria would see the rise of many different states, housing the many different people groups that make up the country. In the southeast stood the kingdom of Nri, of the Igbo people. Up north were the Hausa states, that were enriched via trade with the Berbers of North Africa, through whom Islam was introduced in medieval times. Then there was the powerful Oyo Empire of the Yoruba people, which, aided by a skilled and well-organized army, conquered and expanded and attained its pinnacle of power in the 18th century. Meanwhile, in the southwest, the Edo people formed the kingdom of Benin, not to be confused with the modern country of that name, which cultivated considerable power and traded with the Portuguese, who were exploring the African coast in the 15th century. In exchange for European goods such as firearms, Benin offered captured slaves, who would be shipped off to the Americas to labor on plantations. Slavery also played a key role up north in the Sokoto Caliphate, which was established via jihad, or Islamic religious war, and would go on to become a great power, ruled by the Fula or Fulani people. In 1807, Britain outlawed the trading of slaves, and the Royal Navy dispatched the West Africa Squadron to help suppress and prevent the odious business. While Britain's intentions in this regard may have been admirable, they also facilitated its imperial ambitions. E.g., Lagos was a major port town, but its ruler was pro-slavery, so the British forcibly removed him and put an anti-slavery man in charge. Then, 10 years later, Britain simply took Lagos for themselves. British influence saw the rapid spread of Christianity in the region, and as early as the 1860s, there were Nigerian bishops of the Church of England. Today, the Christian faith dominates the south of Nigeria, while Islam dominates the north. Anyway, bit by bit, the British conquered the land, from subjugating the Sokoto Caliphate to crushing the Aro Confederacy. Thus, Nigeria became part of the British Empire, a chunk of territory smushing together scores of separate peoples and languages, with little in common except that one day they would all be considered Nigerian. While the Islamic north resisted change, the south saw increased modernization and westernization, and a rising sense of nationalism that guided Nigeria to independence in 1960. Immediately, it was clear that governing a nation of, as we mentioned before, different smushed-together ethnicities was going to be complicated. After thousands of southerners living up north were slaughtered by northerners, the Igbo people of the southeast said, "You know what, we'll just have our own country then," and established the breakaway state of Biafra. The rest of Nigeria said, "Oh no you don't," and politely asked them to rejoin the country. If by politely you mean violently, and by asked you mean forced. That's right, it was war, which Biafra lost. A devastating blockade, having ensured the people of Biafra were starved into submission. Some 2 million people, many of them children, died from hunger. Unhappy at the nation's slow rate of improvement, the military staged a coup in 1975. A few years later, Shehu Shagari became the country's first democratically elected president. Perceived corruption in his government led to, you guessed it, another military coup, which was soon followed by, you guessed it, another military coup. The new government was even more corrupt than its predecessors, and thus there was, you guessed it, another military coup. Democracy finally returned with the 1999 elections, and in the years up to now, Nigeria has faced problems ranging from terrorist groups like Islamic State and Boko Haram to curbing human rights abuses and corruption. And Nigeria today possesses the largest economy in Africa and has in many respects seen many steps forward that will hopefully continue and see its emergence from the low level of human development it currently lingers in and produce even more greatness than it has already. For Nigeria has given the world so much, from brilliant writers to amazing artists, gifted musicians, and incredible sports people. They're also really good at Scrabble. So all the best to Nigeria, but as for me, it's bye for now. Bye-bye.